Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hand podcast / live stream. If you're watching us, hello, everybody wave. Because if you don't, Tom will get mad.
Wave, everyone.
What if Tom's watching us?
No, that'd be too weird. That'd be like something out of Inception.
He can't be with us tonight because I was thinking of something funny to say, but I thought I want something funny and believable. So I just went with he shat himself. There we go. So Tom can't be with us.
We all know that wouldn't stop him joining the podcast normally.
No, mid shit potentially.
He's got to next week. He's got to film Ewan McGregor, and he's on a mission to find him. He's got to track him down.
Yeah,
I was
Charlie Brooker
trying to get a guest to join us tonight. I thought James Gurnlist by now might have reviewed Cyberpunk. But funnily enough, he can't make it either tonight. I don't know what's going on.
He shat himself.
That is a shame.
Yeah. Yes, he's shat on top. Whatever. So we're going to do news tonight. We might have a little bit of a catch up because I don't have that much news, although there is some fun news I think we can get into. So maybe I was thinking like we're 6-7 episodes into The Mandalorian as well. Have you watched it, Duncan?
I am a wee bit behind, but I have watched some of it.
Okay, then we won't do that then.
You've not seen the latest one?
No.
Or what about the one before it?
Yeah, that's the one with Ahsoka in it, isn't it?
Oh, no, spoilers if people are watching, but yeah.
Everyone knows that's happening. Everyone knew that was happening before the series came out.
The artwork, isn't it?
That pops up on like Mandalorian related articles because Google's realised I like the Mandalorian. So.
But you watched that one though, yeah?
No, I haven't had a chance to. I have to watch it on my own, and I haven't had the chance of own time to be able to watch it.
Okay, cool.
Fair
we won't
enough.
talk about Mandalorian. We'll save that then.
We can talk about Mandalorian. I mean, it's been phenomenal. But
we're going to be spoiling it for you.
Yeah, we can't talk specifics.
Yeah, because there is some heavy spoilers. There's something that happened in the last episode that's.
Let's just wait till the series finishes, and then we'll do a full on spoiler geek out on it.
And I don't want to spoil it for you, Duncan, because I know you will love it as well. So I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, we'll do a spoiler cast at the end of the series.
Last one was very cool.
Yeah. News then. News. The other thing is we'll announce the 64 teams or themes. Oh my god, teams and themes. Yeah, 64 themes and the groups that they are in.
So how did you trim it down from 790 to 64?
It's just the top 64, the ones that received the most votes.
But sure, didn't it go like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then just loads of them with one vote?
Yeah, there's loads of them with one vote, but there was loads of them with 10 votes, loads of them with.
But
loads with
so what I'm saying is,
if
if the ones with more than one vote were fewer than 64, how do you decide which of the ones with only one vote got through?
None of them.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was just the top 64. The ones with the most votes went through.
Cool.
And I think I've done it right because I look every group because I was like, oh, that's a group of death because you get them in the World Cup, and I looked at it and I think I said that about every single group except for like one or two, which have got some themes that apparently other people give a shit about.
So how did you hand pick these groups, or did you do it properly with little footballs with names inside them picked out of a big glass bowl?
I went to a randomizer website and put each tier because I split them into 4 tiers. 4 tiers of 12. 4 tiers of 12? That's not right, is it? Is it?
For what?
4 tiers?
No.
That would make 48, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you're thinking
16.
of. Yeah.
Hope I've done enough.
We'll see. Won't we? So we'll publish the bracket on Instagram after this at some point, and we'll keep it updated as the
Dan,
victories
4
come
tiers
in.
of 16.
I fucked up.
When we've done some minor adjustments, we'll publish the bracket and keep it updated on a week by week basis as the victories come in.
I just counted it. It's got 48 in there.
Well, we'll just do 48 then. That doesn't work, does it? It needs
48 doesn't work.
I was wondering.
Anyway,
Okay. Well,
that'll be up soon.
I
Once
can read
we've-
out this top 64, maybe.
No.
I mean, I think we've done
Oh,
enough
you want
listing
to-
of the names of TV shows. Bear in mind that's all we did
Yeah,
for the
you
last
want the
two
actual
episodes.
groups, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Okay,
publish that.
well,
We'll publish
then-
it really soon. Don't worry. It's all fine. We know what we're doing. We're not a bunch of
Sorry
complete
if,
fucking amateurs.
if either of you are here on the pretense that you're going to be watching that, so I do apologise. We'll do it next week.
News!
Right.
News!
News! Hang on, I'll do it in the style of Will Smith. News. So,
It's quite incredibly racist.
how was that racist?
If you have
That's
to
my Will
ask,
Smith
then
impression.
you are a big part of the problem.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Come on, news us off.
Okay, so Cyberpunk's been getting some reviews.
Yeah, I
Have
mean,
you been
like,
seeing some of these?
so it's not the world's most amazing, perfect game straight off the bat that's going to save gaming for the future. I mean, I think it's been a bit overhyped, hasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it'd been incredibly overhyped. Basically, there was a lot of people, potentially me included, that were thinking this game might save the year.
Yeah.
Not just in gaming, the year. Because, I mean, this is the game we've been looking forward to forever. Like, and it kept getting pushed back and kept getting pushed back and going, it's still in 2020, though. This might be the one thing that makes 2020 okay. And then it comes out and there's some bugs that apparently are annoying, and then there's some bugs that are less annoying. There's some bugs that sound hilarious, which I'm actually looking forward to seeing. One of those bug compilations that you get on YouTube when this happens, I'm all in for that. Let's get them going.
Isn't one of the bugs the floating cigarette? I mean, that is hilarious.
It's one of many. There's some, like, the animations don't work on some people when they walk into a room. So it looks like they're on roller skates as they walk into a room, which is hilarious as well. But then there's some really annoying stuff, apparently, like people talking over each other, like when they're giving quests and you're trying to get information.
Yeah, so that's the difference between like just a silly little thing and something that actually breaks the gameplay. But yeah, it does seem like the reviews are basically like, yeah, it's a nice looking RPG, which some people seem to think is the worst thing that's ever happened.
The Cyberpunk fans have been potentially a little bit overzealous with how they've handled some of these reviews. Because most of the reviews are like, it's 9 out of 10. It's the CD Projekt Red game that we thought it was going to be. However, it's buggy as fuck, and sometimes that does kind of pull you out of the immersion. And then there's some people that just not into it. Some people that played it and thought, I've read a couple of reviews that like go, yeah, it's big, it's polished, but at the same time, like none of this, a lot of it has no relevance to your story, and it feels a little bit empty at times as well. That's someone's opinion. They're allowed that opinion, but not according to certain YouTubers who have decided to name and shame them and basically point them in direction of people that think it's fun to send things like death threats for reviews for a game that they've not even fucking played yet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you know, gaming culture as a whole hasn't had a massive collective freak out for a while, so good to be reminded in 2020 that we've still got a huge bunch of arseholes there who are still very much arseholes.
We've not done a serious one in a while, so I'm thinking probably mid-January we might get into sexism in the games industry and see if we can firsthand speak to people
Well,
that
fix that.
yeah, fix it.
Yeah,
Easy.
dead easy.
See if we can speak to people that have experienced it firsthand, because it seems absolutely horrific. Like, to be a woman reviewing games seems to be a minefield amongst a load of giant.
Yeah, it's the game. I'm not saying there's no problems in the games industry, but that's almost sort of a separate issue to the pop culture and reviews side of it. So people that stick their heads up and voice opinions in print or online or on YouTube just open themselves up to an absolute world of pain. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's horrible. Did you see the person, who was it? It's Game Informer she works for. And she was reviewing, she has epilepsy. and she was reviewing Cyberpunk, and she had a seizure because there was no seizure warning on the game. So she
Yeah, and usually there's
But-
options to
yeah.
filter that sort of stuff these days because that's
apparently
been
they're
we've been aware that that's an issue since like Sonic 2.
well,
And then
one of the
And then
things,
is she the one that got then attacked
well, yeah.
because she was explaining what happened?
Well, I'll go into it. Yeah, she wrote an article basically saying, look, if you have epilepsy, just be careful with this game because I had quite a bad seizure while playing it, and I carried on playing because it's kind of my job and I love games and stuff. But this might be something that might put you off playing it. She got sent what looked like supportive messages that had seizure-inducing videos attached to them. So she'd click them, open them, and then be confronted with that.
Classy.
You have to be the biggest fucking dickhead to do that. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, and it's a fucking game, for fuck's sake. I love games. I spend a lot of time playing video games. I spend a lot of time playing Forza, but it's a game. Just get the fuck over it. This is someone's opinion on a game. That's all it is, and it wasn't even an opinion on a game. It was saying that.
Yeah,
this
that's not even
caused
an
me-
opinion. That's just
Yeah.
a fact.
Health warning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is something CD Projekt Red should have done in the first place. But apparently, this game, in a year where we've had a ton of extra accessibility features on games on all consoles, on PC, whether it be games designed to help people who are colorblind or people that generally have struggled to play games, this one seems to be a pretty major flaw in a company that have obviously just gone, fuck it, release the game.
Yeah, compared to what some people are doing, it's quite a basic thing that wouldn't even I mean, that's turning off some of the lighting effects. It doesn't even really have any impact on the game or anything. That would be incredibly simple to implement compared to some of the stuff that you see in games. Where you can apply different filters for people with different types of color blindness. You can change the way things are, visually represented on the screen. You have sort of high contrast modes, things like that. There's all sorts of things that people have put in.
I would suspect it is just, it was just a bad oversight, and it's probably because they've been so focused on getting it finished. It's not something that they would have probably jumped to. It just suggests to me
it's
that
not something
maybe
you'd forget to do by accident. It's something that you might take a decision to say, we don't have time to do that, we'll patch it in. But it's not something that's just got
I'm not meaning
overlooked.
the design, I'm meaning the warning, because you can easily
No, but
do a
even
warning,
that,
and I think
like they go through so many levels of compliance and governance for these things. You wouldn't accidentally forget to include that. Somebody took a decision not to do that.
CD Projekt Red turns out they might not be the fun saviors of the games industry we thought they were.
They've been quite dickish for a while.
Yeah,
and the sort of the edgy marketing of this game has really pandered to some of those Gamergate, show us the Snyder Cut arseholes out there. And they're the same people, they are.
I don't disagree with you on that one. Yeah, it does feel like they've kind of pandered to that bit. And then so I was thinking about this today. I'm thinking, who are the good guys of the games industry right now?
Microsoft.
Well, I'm not being funny. They're injecting 5G into everyone right now, aren't they? So you can't say them.
That's a very difficult question to answer with no preparation and no time to do any research. But there are people out there doing good things, and
I think of companies like
representation
Double
and diversity, and Microsoft did release that award-winning accessible controller thing, didn't they?
Yeah, true.
Which is quite an amazing bit of kit, really, in terms of what it lets people do.
Who developed this? Because you've given us so much warning, and because I'm highly functional, being with so much knowledge, and I'm stalling because I still can't remember who developed The Last of Us 2.
As Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog. They might I mean, that
Yeah, except that then the director of The Last of Us 2 and the lead actor kind of went after journalists and encouraged other people to go after journalists because they shared an opinion that they didn't like The Last of Us 2 very much.
Yeah.
I haven't given you any preparation. We'll tie this all into what we're going to do in January. But it just started me thinking that games industry is might be
anyone
pretty
watching, if you can think of any heroes rather than villains, just ping us now.
Hit us up in the chat.
Yeah. Because
we miss you guys talking to us.
Yeah.
Don't make us do lists every week.
No.
Like that ended up being a lot of work, and I've still fucked it up. So
It's all right. We're gonna get Dan some maths tutoring. I'll tutor him.
I can't believe I fucked it up that badly. I can't. I mean, I can.
I'm gonna give him a one-on-one session, and we might even do some maths.
We're not allowed to do that right now.
You can do it over the video. It's fine.
Okay, that's all right.
Duncan can harass people over Zoom easily. It's fine.
I can. I mean, I think I can still kind of like bend over and have my head. You can see my head between my legs, maybe.
Just need the balloon knot.
So, some reviews of Cyberpunk. GameSpot are getting probably the most interest from those giant man babies because they only gave it a 7 out of 10.
Oh, the dreaded 70%.
Was it a high 7?
It was it was like a mid 7 out of 10. That was the worst thing. That's what I wanted. I was determined to get Journalist on this week to talk about how he gave Cyberpunk a 7 out of 10. Maybe next week we'll see if we can get Journalist in.
I really get why a lot of publications have stopped just putting numbers on things.
Yeah.
Because the whole, like, if you go to all that effort of researching a game, crafting a really well-written review, but all that happens is people just skip straight to the number at the end, or even worse, just don't even bother reading it at all and just look at stuff like Metacritic. Just go, is it good or not? Because there's the only two options.
They got their codes last week, and most people have put 30 hours into this. And the response from some people has been, you only put 30 hours into this. Like, well, 30 hours is most of a working week in the space of a week, on top of actually having to write the damn review as well.
Yeah, and, live your life.
Yeah, exactly. That's, I know some people have played more, but their review is, your mileage may vary, but in our experience, the bugs are obtrusive, substantial across the board, often forcing us to reload saves or exit the game entirely. It's hard to get really into a world you constantly have to leave, but then it's hard to get in Cyberpunk 2077's world in general. So much of it's superficial set dressing, and there's so much happening all around. Ads going off at all times, gunfights breaking out in the street, text coming in about your car that you'll never buy. That a lot of the game feels superfluous. The side quest, I don't think I've ever had to say that word. And like it really, really struggled to say it. I've like
side quests.
Superfluous. Yeah. The side quests and the characters they showcase at the Shining Beacon through the neon-soaked bleakness of Night City, and they give you room to explore the core RPG mechanics have to offer. These are what carried me through an otherwise disappointing experience. So, like, it's possible that they had very different bugs from, say, let's have a look. Who gave it a good review? Not like super duper good review, but like just a good review.
When some people sort of take the decision to go, we're going to ignore the bugs because we're going to assume that they'll get patched out, whereas other people take the policy of, we're reviewing what we were given to review. We can't review something hypothetical that might get patched in later. We're reviewing what they gave us as the final review copy to review, and that's fair enough.
I think both are valid ways of reviewing it. I just don't think I'm like you, take the number off. But so IGN said Cyberpunk 2077 kicks you into this beautiful, dazzling, dense cityscape with few restrictions. It offers a staggering amount of choice in how to build your character, approach quests, and confront enemies, and your decisions can have tangible, natural feeling impact on both the world around and the stories of people who inhabit it. Those stories can be emotional, funny, dark, exciting, and sometimes all those things at once. The main quest may be shorter than expected. That's the other thing. It's apparently only 20 to 30 hours, which is fine by me. When taken on its own, and it's not always clear what you need to do to make meaningful changes to the finale, but the multitude of side quests available almost from the start can have a surprisingly powerful effect on the options you have to get there. It's a shame that frustratingly frequent bugs can occasionally kill an otherwise well-set mood, but Cyberpunk's 2077's impressively flexible design makes it a truly remarkable RPG. Like, I think, so for starters, the bugs will go. Like, eventually, there will be no bugs in this game. There'll be some bugs.
I mean, they said that about Skyrim, didn't they?
Yeah, that's Bethesda, though, isn't it? They said that about every game they've released, but then Fallout 3 has bugs in it that are also in New Vegas, where they copied like the model of New Vegas over Fallout 3 over to New Vegas, and they left the bugs in. So, like, I don't know. I'm still excited about playing it. Like, this is the game that I've been looking forward to all year. Like, more so than probably the Xbox Series X. I've been looking forward to playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I think, I'm sure it's going to be really good, but just, enjoy it, and it's just a game. It's not going to change your fucking life.
Exactly.
I mean, like, Skyrim has bugs in, but it's still an amazing game. It doesn't stop. And it sounds like you might actually be able to finish Cyberpunk 2077, whereas I still haven't finished Skyrim.
So, the other thing is, like, Skyrim definitely has bugs in, and they just kind of went, fuck it.
Just charming, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Yeah. And yet they then ported that game onto every single format you can possibly port it onto, with the fucking bugs as well. So, yeah. I don't think people will lose too much sleep over Cyberpunk having some bugs in. I generally think if you're trying to write a review and your game has bugs in it that mean you have to restart your game, that's probably more annoying than someone just sitting down with a beer playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably be all right. Let's move on.
Yes.
Cyberpunk news, done. Okay, so this is shocking. I don't know what we're going to get in the UK, but in the US in 2021, all of Warner Brothers movies will be coming to HBO Max, including The Matrix 4 and The Suicide Squad, at the same time as they're out at the cinema. Add into that Dune as well.
Yeah, this is interesting, this. So it's felt kind of inevitable for a while, but this is the first, like, I know Mulan was on Disney Plus, wasn't it? But that was sort of very much seen as a one-off. So this is a major distributor just committing to, fuck it, everything is going on streaming straight away. And is it working in terms of price? Is it just included with your HBO Max subscription?
I think so, yeah.
Because Mulan you had to pay quite a lot for, didn't you?
£25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same when stuff gets released on, when it pops up on like Amazon Prime, but not the bit that's included with Prime or Apple Video. You got to pay a pretty significant rental fee for it.
I think that's the only way of doing it. Like, you can't compete with Netflix, for example, if you're then charging extra for films. Because Netflix
I don't think it works adding that to a subscription-based model. Like something like so on like old-fashioned iTunes TV stuff, or on if you get stuff off the Play Store, it's not a subscription. You just go, right, I want to watch that, I'll pay, and then I've rented it for however long. That's fair enough. But if that was sort of, that's one of the main thing that annoys me about Prime, is all the stuff that shows up on there that you can't actually watch without paying extra for.
Yeah, which is pretty much every other film or TV series. So, yeah,
I find that incredibly annoying. I don't think it works. If you subscribe to something and you are paying for it, you don't want to be seeing constant adverts for something else to spend your money on. You just want to see the things that are available to you because you are a valued subscriber.
And also, Amazon have all the monies anyway, so why not just...
Well, yeah. That's why they have all the money.
Yeah, but I have paid for a couple of things on Prime just because I'm like, I just really want to watch this. Bugger it. I'll just do it. But now I've stopped doing that because it's like, well, I'm paying you Prime, and I'm hardly I do watch stuff on Prime, and will sometimes use the Prime service, but it's not any better. It's like, well, I'm only keeping Prime primarily for one children's TV series and The Expanse. which you
Yeah,
haven't
I mean,
watched.
it is my Expanse and Boys
Oh, Boys, yeah, that's it.
streaming service pretty much for me.
So,
So,
I've not
yeah,
really seen,
everyone's
like I said, not seen
favourite
anything about how this is going to work in other markets, but you've got to assume, bear in mind that like the Chinese cinema market is now larger than the American one, I think, and
Yeah.
Europe is a not insignificant market.
Yeah.
They're going to want to get especially bear in mind that they won't be getting box office receipts. They are going to want to bring as much cash as they can out of these movies that they've spent untold millions of dollars making and haven't been having any income from for quite a while. Like Wonder Woman was meant to be out in June, wasn't it? So
I don't think this is the future, by the way. Like, there's a lot of criticism for cinemas, but they weren't doing awfully until they had to close because of the global pandemic.
it will be the future if they all go out of business.
Yeah, if the cinemas go out of business, funnily enough, then yeah, this will be.
But I don't think, like, if they do go all out of business, they won't come back the same. They'll come back. I think the little sort of the independent art housey ones will come back, and more of those sort of boutique experience ones will. But just big multiplexes in retail parks out of town, I don't think they'll spring back anytime soon.
I don't know. The Cineworld Pass is a thing of beauty. It's just like an absolute like that might be like, for me, I was going to see films that I would never have gone to see on a day off at 2:00 in the afternoon in an empty cinema. So it's like, well, if I didn't have the Cineworld Pass, if I didn't pay them this X amount of money, then they'll be showing films to nobody at like midday on a Wednesday afternoon. But because I'm happy to give them this money, it's
yeah. But it's
like,
like
I
a
think
multiplex cinema is a big, expensive thing to run.
Yeah,
But they really
huge,
probably only make money on Friday and Saturday evenings.
well, they make funny. That's what we're trying to do. They really only make money when things like the Avengers comes out as well, or Star Wars, or whatever piece of shit.
And if
DC
the
are
whole,
releasing at the moment.
if the releasing stuff on HBO, if that goes well, then everyone will be doing it.
So it already has gone well because they did that with Trolls, didn't they? Trolls
Yeah.
World Tour.
Oh, the World Tour.
I just
That
really
made
hope
a
it doesn't
ton of
end
money.
up with another fucking 10 streaming services popping up, one for each cinema distributor, who is now releasing stuff straight onto their exclusively on, this streaming platform that doesn't exist yet. Nonsense.
Any idea what we're going to get in this country?
No, we don't really have an equivalent of HBO Max, do we?
No, I mean Sky, pretty much. Things
Yeah,
that are on HBO
they
Max
they
are on
might
Sky,
license
so-
things via Sky, and Sky is
Yeah.
the most. I think Sky is the most popular TV provider in the UK, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I mean they've
Pretty
done
sure.
a few as well, haven't they? They've done a few films that were like meant to go to cinema. Like they did Mulan at the same time, and when Rise of Skywalker came out, I did that the other day at work. I said I'll just go find Rise of Skywalker. When that came out like instantly, pretty much on Sky
I mean,
at the same time as it did.
If stuff comes out everywhere, that's fine because it will be available to everyone on something.
yeah,
depending on
this
what device you've got or what providers you've got, you'll be able to, if you want to go and pay the 20 quid to see the movie, you'll be able to on something. I just don't want it to all be exclusive on one platform.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm fine with that as well. Like I think you're probably right then in that instance where the smaller boutique cinemas where you're going to watch films that you want to go and see at the cinema because you want the cinema experience rather than just because.
Yeah, and you want a
Wednesday
nice
afternoon,
cinema
you're bored.
experience. I mean, like, with the best will in the world, nobody's really got romantic, wistful reminiscings about an Odeon in the last 5 years. Like, come on, they're not. It's not. It's not the sort of nostalgia trip. Is it that maybe it used to
I
be?
beg to differ. I beg to differ.
I
Getting
went
a
to see
little
Black Panther.
little shitty receipt ticket that's not even a good ticket anymore, and then there's only one person working there who's about 6, and you pay £400 for 3 bits of popcorn. and it's quite clear
I got a
that
beer in
nothing's been cleaned for 8 months.
Well, I beg to differ. I'd imagine they were cleaning quite a lot when they reopened recently. But also, okay, you say there's no nostalgia in modern multiplexes. How would you describe when you went to see the Avengers Endgame?
It was really good fun, but the thing there was nothing special about the cinema. It was, you know, it was watching the film. That was the enjoyable bit.
Yeah, but you watched the film with a load of other people.
Yeah, but there wasn't
like
they were arseholes.
And when Captain America, spoilers, when Captain America takes Thor's hammer, the whole cinema erupted at that point for us.
Yeah, but that's the people that I just don't. I just don't think there's anything particularly special about the multiplex chains. It's a very sort of, you know, automated experience these days. Do you know what I miss? I miss ringing up that phone number and then having to wait for 12 minutes until the voice got round to reading out all the times of the films.
I love that. Actually,
that was great.
I used to love going and looking in the newspaper because the newspaper would always have the film times, and if you missed a week or something, like, oh shit, I missed it or something. And so that was always good fun. No, we went to the Odeon Lux for Black Panther. I don't know why I pointed that way. No one knows who I'm pointing at, I think. And for
she's on video handing you a beer. Like, yeah.
Also, you talk about her all the time.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
She's watching. Yeah, she's watching a program that Professor Alice Roberts made about Glasgow. And look, I did that without anything. There you go.
Yeah, but you don't really get the credit for it if you then went and I did that without doing anything. So
I get
maybe next time.
Anyway, the one thing I did like, so I do look forward to being able to go back to the cinema because we haven't been for obviously ages. But even before
I do hope they survive. I'd like to make that clear. I just worry that if they don't,
you want people out of work.
You were saying I hate the multiplex.
My concern is that if they don't survive, it's going to mute Duncan. That they won't come back anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a concern. There's no denying that.
The thing is, I don't really want to watch all the films on a small TV.
No, like you could have a 65-inch TV and it still is nowhere near the same experience as being in a cinema.
And
no, but it does have a lot of conveniences that a cinema doesn't. So
it also has a lot of distractions.
Yeah, but so speaking as someone who can't go to the cinema very much, it would be incredibly...
you wouldn't understand. You're not a parent, me.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that at all. But it would be far more convenient for me to be able to watch new releases at home. Far more convenient. And I'm far more likely to do it.
Yeah.
Than go to the cinema.
No, I understand. I am just playing. There is. I have an incredibly romanticised view of the cinema. I understand that. It's and do you want to know some of the films that we're going to be getting on HBO Max or not us?
We're not going to be getting it on HBO. Yeah. It's probably going to be Sky, isn't it?
Yeah, Sky makes the most sense. The Little Things, which is a gritty drama centered on Kern County Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon, played by Denzel Washington, as he's sent into LA and quickly becomes involved in investigation into a serial killer terrorizing the City of Angels. Teaming up with the Los Angeles Sheriff Department Detective Jim Baxter, Rami Malek, Deke begins to uncover details others missed along the way.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Tom and Jerry film in March.
Unbelievable.
Many Saints of Newark, confused with no way of continuing the saga of Tony Soprano. Still talk about more than 13 years ago. Will soon release the Alan Taylor directed prequel, Many Saints of Newark. So a prequel to Sopranos. Reminiscence, the story of Nick Bannister, a solitary figure living in a near future Miami on the brink of ruin. who has the power and resources to offer clients the chance to relive their old memories.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla versus King Kong. I probably don't need to explain that one.
That's the rom-com, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
You're not serious.
That's what it's called.
Silly name.
The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Has it got
Dear,
Henry
dear.
Zebrowski's face on it?
It's got the problem with following last podcast on the left, we know that Lorraine and Ed Warren are pieces of shit pretty much. So like when you're watching it, they're like, I don't really like them. What else are we getting? Oh, Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Movie. We needed another Space Jam. Although, I quite like LeBron James. Suicide Squad film. That genuinely does look fun. Dune in October.
Yeah, that looks incredible.
I am so
Should
glad
have
they're not
started
releasing it
rereading.
in June, because I have trouble enough saying Dune and June. The Matrix 4 in December 22.
I
I
mean,
realised
actually-
halfway through saying that I'd said it wrong. And I just
I'm
finished it.
quite incredibly skeptical about that.
I think it's going to be shit. Oh, and Mortal Kombat film as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd really
everyone
need
knows
more.
that's going to be shit, but that's probably what it's aiming for.
Yeah.
It's going to be shit but fun.
Yep. Here we go.
That Duncan is the exact problem with the Matrix. It's not fun, and it takes itself so
Way
fucking
too
seriously.
serious.
He does.
For a film that's about kung fu computers, it is so up its own arse. I love the first one, but the second two
Yeah.
are fucking
What's that
bobbins.
jumping around the fucking room? That was hilarious. Even
And
on the
just
trailers, I was like,
The
what the
literal,
fuck is that?
the where they go, right, sit down. What's going to happen now is Colonel Sanders is going to spend 5 minutes explaining what the fuck is going on. But in the most pontificatey, pseudo-psychological way imaginable. We're going to chuck loads of philosophical references that you won't get because you're fucking stupid in there. And if
Yeah.
you don't understand it, well, he's made it perfectly clear. So it's really the fault is yours and yours alone.
We're going to
The-
big up these scary-looking dreadlock twins who actually do fuck all and don't say anything and are actually bit shit.
I'd like to say the Boba Fett of the. Not going to say anything anymore. Not going to say anything. I was going to say
Why?
the Boba Fett of the Matrix universe, but then
Mhm.
I've just realised that I might be eating those poorly chosen words now. So let's move on. Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man.
Spiderman, Phil Spiderman, has a heck of a cast by the looks of things, or is building up to be a heck of a cast. Looks like they're leaning fully into the multiverse thing, whereas Marvel are trying to play it coy, although it's called the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange film, so they're not
Yeah.
really. But
So what this is? What Spider-Man is this?
Spider-Man, that hasn't got a title yet. It's just the third Spider-Man.
But it's-
Tobey Maguire
it's a-
Spider-Man film.
Toby, what's his face?
Tom Holland
Tom Holland.
Spider-Man film. Yeah,
Right, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So we've had Homecoming, Far From Home.
It'll have the word
Yeah.
home in it somewhere.
yeah. It'll be like
Second
Journey
Home.
Home or something.
Going
like
going
that.
to home base.
Yeah. There you go.
Second homeowner.
Have you guys seen who's been added? Allegedly been added to the cast. But it's
No,
like
please go
it's
ahead.
all but confirmed, pretty much. So Alfred Molina should
Yeah,
be
so
reprising
this
his
is-
role as Doctor Octopus.
This is tasty
Yeah,
Ooh.
because he was
Okay.
spectacular.
I
in
loved him in this.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
2.
definitely. I want that. It looks like it's building up to what they think is going to be a Sinister Six film set in the multiverse. So what they did was they looked at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and went, that did well. Let's just do that live action. So on top of which, it's reported that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Kirsten Dunst, and Emma Stone have all signed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. On top of which, if it's Sinister Six, looks like we are getting Kingpin, played by what's his face from Daredevil, whose name escapes me. Yeah. On top of which, it is I guarantee it will have been confirmed by the time the podcast version of this comes out, because usually I release about 4 weeks after we've actually recorded it anyway. That Charlie Cox will be in it as Daredevil.
That is very cool.
Yeah, like for me, bin off Tobey Maguire, Alfred, and all of them. Bin off all of them. Let's just have Charlie. Let's just have a Daredevil Spider-Man crossover. I'm all in on that.
And definitely with the Kingpin, because he was Kingpin for me.
He
That was
amazing. Yeah.
It was
What's his fucking name?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. There
Yeah.
you go. Yes.
He was amazing. Although I fucking loved the way they did Kingpin in Multiverse as well. He's just a wall
Oh my god. Yeah.
with a face in the middle.
Well,
It was
there's no
amazing.
reason why they couldn't include Spider-Verse in this as well.
Yeah, I mean it would be a big step having animated characters popping up in
It's
what is essentially an MCU film. But
It's a bit
Roger
Paul
Rabbit.
Abdul video, isn't it? Yeah, or Roger Rabbit. Yeah. But then why not have what's his name, Jake Johnson, playing Peter B. Parker?
yeah,
Like,
you could
just play.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Like, is this the opportunity to get Donald Glover in as well as Miles Morales?
He's too old.
Like,
he
no,
is
but
too
the
old now.
multiverse, you can bring
Yeah,
him in
but
as like
so
an
he couldn't
older-
be like
Yeah,
active current Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Miles Morales, and he's already been in it as Miles Morales'
His uncle.
uncle, hasn't
Yeah.
he? So, you could.
surely there's someone else that could play Miles Morales if you
no,
really
but
wanted.
there was this whole
He
big thing
voiced him
about-
in the animated series for a long time, didn't he?
and they people wanted Donald Glover to be Spider-Man so badly. Like, I was one of those people. But then racists had an issue with it. They had a problem
Yep.
with that Spider-Man might be black. And as it is, there's an absolutely he's killing it on PS5. It's one of the top most downloaded games of the last month. So
It's that
So,
weird
Miles
sort of
Morales.
specific, like, no, when they're like, no, that's okay because it was in the comic book first, and therefore it's allowed in our weird little nefarious world.
yeah, it's utterly bonkers. But whatever happens, they are doing something big with this Spider-Man film anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in. Xbox announced today cloud gaming coming to iOS and PC in 2021. They reckon spring 2021. So
That is very cool.
xCloud's finally coming to iOS and then PC as well.
So you'll be
Streaming
able
games for
to
PC.
you'll be able to play your Game Pass games on an iPad.
Yep,
That is fucking brilliant.
On my
it's
laptop.
great, right? Yeah, on your laptop or on your laptop. Yeah. So yeah, streaming it. So as long as you've got Game Pass Ultimate, I think it is.
Oh,
Yeah, but I mean, if you could do that, then
Yeah.
I absolutely would, because that would mean, like, my wife can be watching Strictly Come Dancing, and
Yeah.
I'll be playing Halo Infinite in the same room, listening to it on
Exactly.
headphones. That's
Yeah.
that is a game changer.
And it's more than that. You could go on holiday, just take your iPad. It doesn't need the console. So
Yeah,
you just take your iPad with you.
Would you even need to actually have a console?
No.
You could, because you can just sign up for Game Pass, can't you? You don't
Yeah.
have to have an Xbox.
As far as I'm aware, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Very,
It's
very
cool. You
awesome.
can turn an Xbox into a handheld console, basically, which is just awesome. And they're kind of all in on this. They've I mean, Phil Spencer's been
It's so clearly the way things are going, but it's
Yeah.
good that they've. I think they've been burnt a little bit with the whole cloud processing thing, so they won't have committed to this unless they were pretty certain that it was going to work.
No, exactly. And they Phil Spencer's pretty much said that they're at some point over the next year going to be releasing a dongle that you just put in the back of your TV, basically. So then
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can just
it
play
would be no
Xbox
different
games.
to like Chromecasting or a Fire
Yeah.
Stick or anything like that. All it needs to do is send your controller inputs and receive a video signal. That's pretty much all it's doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it's fucking awesome.
yeah. So bye bye Stadia.
The problem with Google is they've got the money to back it up, but I don't know whether they can be bothered.
Google with Google's product development does go in strange directions, and they're very sort of like, sometimes it seems not very kind of strategic. They'll embark on projects that seem crazy. They will they'll have a really popular product and they just kill it because it's not fitting in with what they want to do. I still miss Google Reader. Nothing has come close to replicating Google Reader. But yeah, I mean, when they get it right and it fits in with what they're doing, it's brilliant. But Stadia never, at the end of the day, Google is an advertising company, and Stadia never really fit with that.
No, exactly. I think that'll be gone before long. New additions to Game Pass. While we're talking about it,
Yes,
they've added a ton. So Control coming to Game Pass. Doom Eternal coming to PC on Game Pass.
cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I might have to get in on that. Haven, Rage 2 coming to Android, which is that'll be xCloud. Slime Rancher coming to console as well. VA 11 Hall A Cyberpunk Bartender Action. It's coming to PC.
You just said a whole bunch of words.
Noun and Gremlin. It's had to get it in at some point, but it's apparently it's really good. The only reason I mention it. Call of the Sea, which is just come out, and it's getting like 9s out of 10s.
Mm-hmm.
It's a better game than Cyberpunk. So it's doing very really well. Somewhere a cross between Firewatch and BioShock, I've heard. Which is
Bioshock
interesting. Fireshock.
or BioWatch.
BioWatch. There you go. I like that one.
Cool.
Starbound coming to PC. Gang Beasts is coming to consoles. If you haven't played Gang Beasts, it's a lot of fun. Super Hot Mind Control Delete coming to console as well. The extra levels of Super Hots. Greedfall coming to console and PC as well. Greedfall's good fun. It's a fun RPG. And Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair coming to all things December as well. They've announced more as well, but I have no idea where they are because I've closed the page. So,
Well, it's more just sort of Game Pass being amazing.
Yeah, Game Pass is just incredible. Speaking of Xbox, while we're on a bit of a roll, they showed some Halo Infinite multiplayer.
They showed some. Oh, please, we've gone and done it better. We listened to you.
Yeah, we know what we released was a bit of shit. So yeah, they've released some pictures. It looks pretty snazzy. Like it's a still from a multiplayer. I now need to see a gameplay trailer before I trust this game again. Basically, is how I'm feeling about Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I don't know. I suspect they were just so obsessed with. They're probably trying to be able to say that it runs at 120 FPS with no interruptions guaranteed. But in order to achieve that, every character model has a maximum of 3 polygons.
Yeah, they look like Tekken characters. Yeah. It's on top of which, whilst we're talking games, Mass Effect and Dragon Age heads Casey Hudson and Mark Dara have resigned from BioWare, which is interesting. Hopefully it won't affect the upcoming Mass Effect trilogy remaster.
Well, presumably there's no new content being generated for those.
No.
Just
the bigger concern.
Please implement the shooting mechanics from the second and third one into the first one, and then I might want to play it again.
They did that. That would be.
I did try and play through the first one, but honestly, the shooting is so bad, and you spend
how bad is
so long shopping on the Citadel.
Yeah.
That I must have been more impressed with what is essentially a big shopping centre in space the first time round, because it was a struggle to get through. Whereas the second one is you're straight in there. It's like really propulsive action.
I'll say that there must be some concerns about the next Mass Effect and Dragon Age game, though. Like BioWare,
like there weren't concerns about the next Mass Effect game already.
Yeah, like BioWare didn't have a great console generation. It started strong. Dragon Age Inquisition came out, won a ton of Game of the Year awards, but then Mass Effect Andromeda came out, Anthem came out, and neither were any good. So
it was just have to go with, like, we knew Andromeda was going to be awful because, as we said repeatedly on this podcast, it was due to be released in 3 weeks, and the only thing we'd seen is a video of a guy drawing a tree. So if it's the same sort of vibe next time, it's probably going to be terrible.
I'm just saying, I'm getting just slightly a similar vibe about Cyberpunk. Just slightly, not quite the same. I think I have no doubt Cyberpunk is going to be a good game, but that feeling when I first loaded up Andromeda and went, oh, it's shit, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not going to be playing Cyberpunk anytime soon.
No,
and it's the sort of thing that I would wait 6 months and then read the Cyberpunk 2077 6 months in reviews that will come out.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
This might be like a No Man's Sky. Yeah, exactly. It might be, oh, it's really fucking good now, or it might be, yeah, we got a bit overexcited, didn't we?
Yeah, I wish more people would play No Man's Sky, including myself, because it is really good now. They've done so much good work to it.
Yeah.
Just it's just one of those things that, like, maybe they should have released it a couple of years later when it was finished. But
that was a victim of it being overhyped.
Yeah, 100%. 25
which is
people
probably
in that team.
Out of the hands of the developers. Somebody got some social media consultant got a sniff of something and they turned it into something that just it couldn't deliver on the hype that got generated.
From what I understand, that's what happened, and then Sean What's-His-Face, who's the head of whatever the company is, I know what I'm talking about, honest. He kind of then just went, yeah, no, we'll totally do that. Also we'll do this. And it's like, so you get the feeling that happened, and then he kind of backed himself into a corner, but he very quickly learned his lesson. And now they're constantly releasing these amazing updates for No Man's Sky. So.
Nice.
Very exciting. I think.
There's other news.
Is there?
News.
What we got?
YouTube are releasing all the Bond films.
I didn't know this.
All the old ones, I think, have been released for free on YouTube, or some of the older ones anyway.
With just 600 adverts in them.
With the 600 adverts. But yeah, apparently they're all going to be available on the YouTubes.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Which
I
is
noticed
good,
that someone is still trying to sell a definitive Bond films box set, which now must be the 30th one of those that they've tried to release. Like, who would buy that when there is one literally that we know about that hasn't come out yet?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There was just so many people with these Bond box sets and then just a few more DVDs stuck on the end.
So what they do to them is they leave an empty space in them for the next film.
But there's more than one film. You have to wait until they say we're not making any more. Then you buy the box set.
We mean it this time.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, we mean it.
We mean it.
That is such an inside joke.
Or at least, like, you can go and buy the what are they calling it, like Era 1 Marvel box set.
That's
now
the way to do it. They did that as well. They did that when they released them on 4K. So they released them as like Sean Connery, Roger Moore.
Yeah, so that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
As long as they'll all be released in the same style.
Yeah.
All I care about is trying to watch Living Daylights again. I really just want to watch Living Daylights.
I mean, turn ITV on pretty much any time.
It's not always on ITV or STV up here.
All I want on the spine is them in the tux, like a silhouette, facing towards, facing to the first one, facing to the right, peenie out, okay, just like dangling over the edge of the side of it, and then the next one is facing inwards at the exact same height.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought this through though, because then what does the third one do?
Wow.
If you want to hit us up on the chat, let us know.
Good God. Any more news?
No more news. I think we're done news wise. There probably is loads. I remember, like, for the last 3 weeks, I'd be going, "Oh no, that's really important. We must remember to talk about that." and none of it's come up. So
if it was a few weeks ago, it's not news anymore, is it? It's just stuff.
No. I'm really sorry about the World Cup TV themes. I will say that. Don't say. I'm just going to post them on social. I'll put them all up.
So if you've got like a spreadsheet or something,
I've got notes.
Well, send me what you got, and we can do a nice bracket and stick it up on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm the only thing is we'll do that for the initial one, but then for people to vote on it, they're going to need to do it through the stories, like the individual things.
But then we can update the bracket after each round of the competition.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it's pretty obvious stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, but this isn't my strong point, is it? Let's be honest. I think we're going to wrap it up. For those that chose to watch us tonight, thank you. You are awesome.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
We
to
love
us.
you.
Yep. Tom will be back next week if he's got over his shitting himself.
He's wiped his ass.
Had an hour to think of something else. No, I'm going to stick with it.
No, just shit and shat himself. Yeah. We're going to do something Christmassy next week. We haven't decided what yet. Because I think
Pod
next
admin.
week... What?
Pod admin,
yep, sorry. But we will be in next week. This is admin they need to know about, so shut up. So we'll be in next week and then off the following week because there just isn't a good time to record a podcast that week. So because Christmas is a really shitty time because why not? 2020, fuck up Christmas as well. So if you want to contact us, that's a different podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You can catch all our podcasts on all the decent podcatchers. You can hit us up on YouTube, which you are currently watching right now. That is about it. You can send questions if you like. Just hit us up on Instagram or just ask me on WhatsApp. Like, you've probably got me on WhatsApp.
So what is our Twitter and
oh, there we go.
Insta
Yeah,
handles?
Well, I've been doing this for on Gridiron Gentlemen now. They're fucking this up so badly. TMTOOH on everything.
I'll
so
press the
on
little button to bring them up
Instagram.
again. There we go.
No, sorry. There you go. I see it comes up there. But it
It's
doesn't
good,
come up
isn't
in
it?
the podcast, doesn't it? Yeah.
Just say them.
Oh,
then
TMTO.
fuck off.
TMTOOH on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, but not on Tumblr.
Well, that's for nonsense.
That's for nonsense. Yes. Right. Anyway, we're going to go now. I'm going to go and play Cyberpunk. Although it's not out yet, so I'm not really. Right. Goodbye.
Are you going to say cue the music?
I have to cue the music, don't I? Sorry. And